Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about chi cultivation and manipulation by yours truly, Adrian Bolio. If you would like to support this channel and you'd like to make a donation, you can of course purchase the book on Amazon for $10. If you're looking for something a little bit cheaper, I got one on $7 on Amazon called DMT Meditation. It's kind of abbreviated version. But anyway, let's get into it. Today's topic is meditation attributes. Meditation can be used for many different attributes to enhance the cultivator's life. Some meditate to concentrate on one thought for 30 minutes, or more to strengthen their resilience and patience. Meditation can be also used for recovery after yoga, which usually allows the body to respond under the same conditions as cultivating chi. The focus of meditation for the novice exercise to get into the mindset of chi cultivation, but more advanced meditation techniques will be used for longer periods of time and concentration. Beginners to meditation will learn how to meditate like a true cultivator and will gain insight on how malleable meditation also is. To start with the basics, meditation is about letting go of everything surrounding you, both physically and mentally. The feeling of meditation should be as if a big sigh of relief has flushed over your entire body and it's made completely relaxed, calm, and at peace. In its held position, meditation is also about control and focus of the mind and requires no body movement. The physical act of not moving only confides attention to the mind and the condition of the body's internal health. The mind opens up the fluidity of thought and constructs. The mind senses and perceives and even predicts different under certain conditions. The act of meditating is silencing external sensory that has been overused and opening up sensory that is of the mind and internal. The vastness of what is experienced is limited to how far a person can deceive and delve within themselves their own internal thoughts. The state of sleep has the mind open to the possibilities it can perceive, but the body cannot move and consciously is not active. However, this is also the mindset where lucid dreams, astral projection, visions, voices, and the mindset of hallucinations occur. The onset of melatonin, the sleeping hormone, enters the pineal gland into the brain, then goes through a chemical change within the pineal gland, and the result is a release of DMT, dimethyltryptamine, into the bloodstream. The awake state cannot perceive higher level doses of DMT. Therefore, meditation is used as the bridge between the two states of consciousness. It is the connection between the real world and the spirit world, for in meditation can be the mind run freely, but its own constructs and receive messages. So what this means through meditation is that through your process of becoming still and relaxed, your body also creates a steady dose of melatonin. And melatonin is what makes you sleepy and more relaxed. But if you were to continue this, the melatonin would turn into DMT. We'll explain that later. There's a far greater feeling of understanding, connectivity, and appreciation for life in this moment of bliss. During meditation, heights of pineal gland activation that DMT flows more freely and more powerful than conscious. The third eye or pineal gland sits within the very center of the human brain, and it is the primary target for meditation sessions covered in these exercises. Through pineal gland activation, DMT is then released into the body. The increase of DMT in the body helps the mind access the conditions of the body by making it more aware and rediscovers the body. And if it discovers there are any damage, it will try and recover from it, using your own chi. It is only extremely large doses of DMT that gives the body visuals and insight beyond imagination. DMT is a powerful psychedelic given in tiny amounts and exists, if not in all plants and animals, anything that is living. Its true nature is even more complicated to understand for its vastness and what it can do to the mind and body. DMT changes the mindset so that one of them accepts what is presented in front of them in reality and its elastic connections to the power of the mind. Its understanding of each individual's experiencing and adding stimuli to the world, and that these actions were all once mental creations. What is even more interesting than that is the fact that DMT is made within the human body. It is the same DMT found in nature chemically. This says much more about the chemical nature of our reality and DMT's role it then understand or proposed. Humans aren't the only ones who can produce DMT, therefore the connections to experience it can also be done by animals as well. So this is going over the fact that DMT is a powerful natural psychedelic and that humans can create it. Humans can activate the pineal gland which produces it, and so they can hijack the ability to create DMT. In order for us to experience it a lot easier, we use meditation. Meditation practice will also be conducted through breathing exercises, posture, and positioning of the body, and other mind tricks. We also be included tulpas meditation because of its effectiveness in making chi comply. The pineal gland is part of the ability to control chi because it changes the mindset into manipulating chi in the body easier. Breathing patterns are then added to being the process of a constant flow of DMT while the tulpa is carried out. One of the most important facts to learn and how to control greater levels of chi manipulation is first being able to activate the pineal gland, the third eye. There are many tricks to start activating the pineal gland, such as visualizing its location in the brain and locking onto it with tulpas to awaken it, the center formation of the mind, as well as bridging the tongue to the top of the mouth and shooting it upwards, or visualizing a rocket from your heart to the middle of your head. Those are all examples of tulpas. However, it is only after learning how to do so easily in meditation can the pineal gland begin to constantly produce higher levels of DMT. The breathing patterns will then administer a constant flow of DMT into the bloodstream under the meditation mindset. The other aspect of good chi manipulation is posture, including the implementation of proper stances, sitting positions, and arm techniques while channeling chi. Certain postures are good for detecting chi, and different ones are good for cultivating chi, manipulating chi, and increasing or decreasing chi in the body. Meditation sessions that concentrate on the pineal gland and on the chi manipulation both can be done sitting or standing, but pineal gland activation has emphasis on the brain rather than feeling chi. The positions are vastly different in what they can achieve because of the emphasis on certain positions. Similar to prayer, it is physical action to represent tulpas, and in doing these actions, it helps fulfill the purpose of chi's line of action. The belief and construct becomes action in reality. Meditation's focus is entirely on what visualized group or image can possibly have because of the interest you have and wish to explore it more depth. This book will not only cover the vastest exploration into meditation, such as creating a program for computer science, but in the process of how chi can be cultivated. If you want to boost the strength of your mind in meditation, explore as many avenues as possible within your imagination. Meditation can last for several hours at a time by some of the most advanced cultivators because they have lost within their imagination. Meditation is not about figuring out how your body feels, the sensation of chi, or the implications of tulpas under exploration. It is simply the necessary tool to reach high chi manipulation control, belief and actions of the mind, construct creation, and inner peace. You need the sense of awe and desire to dive deep into the oceans or climb the tallest mountains, and you want to experience it for what it is, not for what you think it will entail. Therefore, don't expect anything going into meditation if you cannot sense anything out. Don't fight or force anything about letting yourself in and get lost in it. You must give up a certain level of control in order to explore the unknown before learning how to control yourself within the transit meditative state. So there's a bit of caution also going into meditation. You want to be able to have the ability to meditate. Do not expect anything to happen. Let things happen on their own, and eventually you'll be able to have a deeper connection within yourself as well as your mind, and it'll be a lot more controllable. And while you're doing meditation, don't be afraid to explore. Always use a sign of caution, but don't be afraid to explore. To start chi cultivation and manipulation, you must start practicing meditation. You must begin to train yourself to feel comfortable in your own nothingness and loneliness. You must master the proper posture used during meditation, the breathing patterns, and you will act within the moment. You must train yourself to feel as if you can light a fire within your heart and feel as if anything you set your mind to can be accomplished. You must rise out from the current way of thinking and embrace the surrender to pure freedom that is found within. You must think of meditation as more than a word, because the word only describes the closest it can be described. Meditation is vast, it is freedom, a process, and we have influence on it what we can do for us. In truth, no words can describe the powerful emotion surges felt in meditation, except that of our own spirit invoked to do the bidding that you wish to happen. And while the body remains silent and still, the feelings inside will be an invested ride of gratitude, happiness, relief, and spiritual uplift. Meditation to activate the pineal gland starts with understanding how the body produces DMT. Later on in the book, there will be a specific way to reach the pineal gland using a process called the full body tulpa exercise. If you want to induce higher levels of DMT, practice meditation in the dark to help increase your levels of melatonin in the body. Here is the formula how your brain can induce DMT into your system. So I have the three main components to help you create DMT. There's serotonin, melatonin, and DMT. Serotonin is what's normally produced during the brain while you're awake, and we have to start producing melatonin. So the brain produces serotonin during the day, but it will produce more melatonin once sleepy or onset of darkness. So you can close your eyes to start meditating and be calm and stretch and get yourself ready in that position, and your body will start producing melatonin instead of serotonin, and you'll become a little bit sleepier and more relaxed. And as you surrender into this, by giving yourself into this feeling, you'll even become more and more relaxed. Maybe even to the point where you actually fall asleep, but you can get to the point where you ride the gap between being awake and asleep, and you can take that momentum into DMT. So the melatonin to DMT, after a significant amount of melatonin is left over in the brain, it is turned to DMT within the pineal gland, awake or sleep. So you have an increase of DMT production because DMT is created within the pineal gland, and the pineal gland takes melatonin that's found within your bloodstream, specifically whatever's in your brain that's going through at the time, and turns that into DMT. So melatonin is formed in your brain after serotonin stops level down. Melatonin is in your brain, is in your bloodstream. You get tired, you get relaxed, you become more sleepy, and then the pineal gland, once you activate it and it wakes up, it takes over that melatonin that's in the body and starts to produce DMT and DMT. So now you have a constant flow of melatonin occurring while you're also siphoning that into an organ that's creating DMT. Then the DMT in the bloodstream, the effects of DMT are realized once it enters the bloodstream. Implementing a breathing pattern directly at the pineal gland creates a constant flow of DMT into the body. And this is where we get the higher transic, more hypnotic, more so sort of like people like under the control of spirits, the Kundalini aspect. People have lost themselves. This is the highest form that you can take meditation, and it takes several months to actually get there, but the point of that is you create your own DMT through melatonin, and you be able to siphon your own feeling and your own meditation transfer into this consciousness simply because you make yourself tired, and then you take that tiredness and it converts itself into a psychedelic. Early onsets of DMT in the body feel like a rush, as well as thought or perception of the feeling of dying, falling into despair, as well as visual hallucinations, both involuntary, physically, visually seen, and mentally. I should also mention onset of DMT in your body, natural, or even if you smoke it or whatever the case you do it. If you do it the natural way, meditation, DMT, you're still going to feel the same effects because it's the natural way. But it feels like you're going through a wormhole, like something's being pushed back past you and you're the one being pushed forward. So it's happening at the same time, this wormhole feeling. Blood pressure and breathing exercises increases, heart rate increases, pupils dilate, and sleep-like transic state of consciousness makes it seem as if the perception is sleepwalking. In large doses, it produces vivid imagery, believable insight, and at the peak, the rise of Kundalini. As I mentioned, DMT releases waves of euphoria, the state of Kundalini trance that knowledge is passed down to the meditator, which may include voices or messages, a great sense of relief and healing that can be channeled through the entire body, and an immense surge in celestial energy that's beyond description of its scope. And to fully describe what those are, going into DMT and coming out of a DMT experience or trance, you can open your eyes and things will be a lot brighter, first because the pupils are far more dilated, but your pupils will remain dilated several seconds, not even just several seconds, maybe even 30 seconds or more after you do DMT. And this is different between how your pupils normally work, where if they're exposed to light, that they'll quickly shrink. But DMT keeps the eyes open because it is a psychedelic in its process. It keeps the pupils open. But it also creates a slight purple tint to the world. Things are more greener, things are more purple, things are a little bit more bluer. And that's how you see when it comes out of it. And like I said, the pupils remain open a little bit longer. Then when it comes to the Kundalini sense of great happiness and lust, well, going into Kundalini, you feel the wormhole effect, the feeling of dread or dying, And then once you break through and you finally reach the point in which you settle down into it and surrender to it fully, and you've ridden the entire process, you become entranced in this space where everything becomes happy, everything becomes love, everything becomes euphoric, everything becomes cheery. It's to the point where some people, like myself, even cried that it was so powerful that it was happening. Like one time it got into it there for 30 seconds, and I immediately just stand up and just want to start dancing, but I was crying because of everything that was happening, and I couldn't explain it. But this was all natural DMT that I was experiencing. So it just comes back to you in a more spiritual, more grounded way, that you realize that you are something much more special than what you actually thought. Your body can produce something with immense pleasure and joy that's unbelievable and indescribable, and can at the same time heal you and teach you, but you just have to go with it with a word of caution. You don't want to let anything bad into you. All right? So that is Meditation Attributes Today by Cultivation and Manipulation. If you'd like to support this channel, feel free to buy one on Amazon, and I will see you folks later.